Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Before we proceed to today's expansion agenda, we must address a significant administrative miscalculation in the Granningville Creek sector. On June 24, 1910, what was intended to be the routine removal of a single signal pole resulted in a catastrophic detonation. The shockwave was sufficient to crack the windows of the Granningville Museum and, more regrettably, resulted in the total loss of a field technician's left arm. The local press is currently investigating rumors regarding our procurement department, specifically allegations that TNF has been sourcing expired TNT to, quote, optimize construction overhead. While the board maintains that our storage protocols meet all minimum legal requirements, the municipality of Granningville has launched a formal inquiry into our safety standards. To mitigate the PR fallback, I have authorized a one-time disability settlement for the injured worker, though he has been informed that his, quote, voluntary separation from the company is effective immediately, as he is no longer capable of operating the manual signal levers. The legal defense and settlement costs have been earmarked under, quote, miscellaneous operational friction. Let us hope the board's next decisions are less volatile. And now, let's go to the votes. Winning with only a plurality, the board of directors have decided to invest our copious funds into a new port on the Seraphine Bay, which TNF will then utilize to ship engineering supplies to the various mines and quarries in our industrial network. Also under vote was the second board of directors stipulation regarding our usage of early access locomotives. The board has decided that early access is a dangerous, unreliable, and risky practice. As such, we will not tolerate the appropriation of corporate funds for experimental locomotives. And now it's time to kick things off in August of 1912. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Transnational Freshwater episode 6, I believe. It's 1912. We're a couple years away from Europe kicking off some real spicy stuff. But until that time comes, we have some things to do today. We have a pretty busy episode ahead of us. I do want to say before I start, I don't say this often, I haven't said this in the series yet, I don't think, but please consider subscribing if you made it all the way here to episode 6. If you're a fan of this content, it's a really good way to support the channel. I'm pushing my way, I'm charging full steam up to 1,000 subscribers. I see that a lot of the people watching this series are highly engaged and not subscribed. So just throwing it out there, no pressure, you do whatever you want to do, and that's all I wanted to say for this little intro. I want to give a quick shout out to Mr. CJ, who commented the great idea for that little bit of lore in the last episode where we had a little bit of a mishap by the TNF museum over here and caused a little small explosion, injured one employee. He happened to lose an arm. I had a lot of fun making the little museum piece for that, so I love the little pieces of lore like that. Keep those coming if you guys think of anything. I also want to give a shout out to everybody in the world who commented that I should use my control key more. Almighty control key is responsible for a lot of the shortcuts in this game, so thank you so much. I'm gonna get a little timer going on my phone so that I know how long I've been recording. There we go. And yeah, so too many people to name. I'll just throw all your comments on the screen. And then also, quick shout out to, another bunch of people who recommended fixing up some of the curves and junctions. So to that end, I made a lot of our curves more gradual. So I reworked this area, as you can see from the terrain, to make it just less windy, less sharp corners in here, and more smooth turns. I did the same over here with a smooth turn and split this up a little bit better so that we have less of those one tile turning situations over there. I also reworked this junction a little bit. I put a bridge in here to separate grade with the freight traffic. I also reworked our track layout situation over here. I'll unpause. Hopefully we can see some traffic come through. But the TLDR is that passenger traffic comes in and merges onto the main line, and then it has a choice. It can either go on the outside track or the inside track. And only passenger rails or only passenger trains have that choice. This freight train coming here has to take the outside track. And that's because of what's further above that I'll get to in a second. So that's how our passenger lines can bypass the freight lines. Now coming up here, I got rid of all the weird crossovers. The freight line continues on this outside track and just away from the passenger spur over here. So it goes up into the yard and to the rest of the industry. The what do you call it? The passengers, on the other hand, can optionally, I forgot to do it, can merge here and get onto the passenger spur, either going into the museum or to the station over there. In the reverse, it's very similar. We'll start with the passenger service because it's more straightforward. It comes in down across the spur. It gets onto the main line here on the outside track, and it just stays on that outside track until it cuts off and away here onto the passenger-only spur. Then the freight traffic coming from the north, speak of the devil, here's one of the bastards right now, pardon the French. This guy has a choice. It can either get onto the outside rail or the inside rail. It's going to prefer the outside rail because there's less opposite direction signals that way, but it can technically take that middle rail if there's a passenger train occupying this block. So I thought that was the most flexible solution to our problems. One thing I'm noticing now is this needs to be a one-way signal. And that should prevent him from taking the outside rail here. All right, so that's been all reworked. I think it's a lot nicer. I also expanded this curve here. I did cut off our TNF museum in the process. Not a huge priority, reconnecting that, unfortunately. And I'm also aware that this has not yet been connected. That's because we have no need for the passenger service to extend north yet. And as you guys voted on, we will not be expanding to Tardworth this episode. We will be focusing on funding our own dock. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. We're going to be putting a dock onto Seraphine Bay, and I think I'm going to put it right here on this little tiny peninsula right here. And I'm going to do this right away. We're going to fund new industry. It's going to be a port fund in right there. There we go. There's our port. So the reason I chose this location, I'm going to pause now, is well, first of all, I want it to be on Seraphine Bay. Second of all, I want it to serve this iron mine. So you can see this uses engineering supplies. I think this is a really good shuttle position right here, just shuttling goods back and forth, or engineering supplies back and forth there. We're also going to hook onto the main line via Nunningpool Ironstone. And with the engineering supplies on the main line, we can take the bypasses I just mentioned all the way up to Tardworth Pybro Hub, which accepts engineering supplies for this quarry right here. We can also get a truck route running that runs engineering supplies to this iron mine over here. So a lot of opportunity for engineering supplies here. And I'd also like to get engineering supplies to Granningville Quarry over here. You can see this accepts engineering supplies as well. This is the actual quarry piece. So both of these, the latter two, require some infrastructure work. This currently is not hooked up. So we're going to finally hook Pybro Hub. We're going to make it more of a hub, and it's going to properly connect to our main line. And then this is going to be the more complicated maneuver. This is already a disgusting junction, in a cool way, I think. And our concrete line just goes under it right now. But we are going to need to incorporate this concrete line into this junction one way or another. So stay tuned for that. But first thing I want to do is get started with the station here at the port. So I'm going to do this right away. And as usual, I'm going to just build the station first and then come back in here and decorate it later. So I think 3 tracks will be a good amount over here. We'll do 3 just like that. We'll have them be pretty long as well. And then if I'm able, I'd actually like to raise the land back here a little bit. I know it's very expensive, but we have the money to spend. Speaking of spending money, we did just spend some money. We just spent about 3.5 million. I think I forgot to mention that part on the port there. So my plan here for this harbor, I had a chance to think about this a little bit, and I want a split bridge. So it's not going to be side by side. Let me hide those trees. But it's going to come in like so. So this is where our bridge will be. In fact, I'll get the bridge in now. It looks like I misaligned those early bits here. We're going to do steel truss because I like how the steel truss bridges look. We're in 1912. I think we can, say goodbye to those covered wooden bridges. We need to do a little bit of work here. We're going to get rid of the harbor. We're going to get rid of the... Jeez, depot. That's what that thing's called. I was looking for that word the whole time. And here's how this is going to work. So the main line needs to come through here one way or another. And I think the main line is just going to come through and cut across like that. And then get onto the we'll call it the port spur for now. That's what that will be. Now, coming into the Ironstone region, we also need to get onto this line because we're going to put the station here. In fact, I think maybe I'll do this instead. And this will make sense in a second. Yeah, so we lost $3.6 million there. Our train is not making a lot of money. Oh, quick detour over to what West 9353 recommended. Yes, all those S's are in the name if you weren't watching the video. I put his comment on the screen there. I forgot to set these buses to transfer at and leave empty at Grandinville Heights so that they actually drop off all their passengers there. And if we wanted to really be optimizing the traffic here, what we should do, I think, is full load, full load, full load. No, sorry, that's not what we want to do, because then they'll just not do anything else. All right, we'll revisit that in a second. But our passenger service is not doing too hot right now, so we might need to rethink passengers in a little while. So what's the plan here? The plan here is simple. We're going to build a platform, new platform. It's going to actually be a spread station with the Ironstone station, and it's going to be right there. So there's our new station. This is going to be drop off for engineering supplies. And to that end, we're going to put a depot on the end here. If I could just delete these tracks. We're going to want a depot on that side. We're going to want a depot on that side. And we want to get rid of that track because it's useless. That would be a right angle turn. Okay, if I unhide, hopefully now you can see the vision. We have, well, maybe if I add some signals, it will be even clearer to see the vision. This is going to be a one-way because they will enter here. And then they'll either go into that new station I just built, or they'll continue straight, which will insert them onto the main line. It will inject them onto the main line, you might say. Now, this little piece on the south here is the bypass. So we don't want all of our trains with engineering supplies are going to the port to stop at Ironstone. Some of them are going to the quarry and to the hub. And so when they come back, they need a way to bypass this station, especially if it's occupied. And so that's where this line will come in handy. And we'll have a one-way signal there so that they'll wait before they cross into all this shenanigans. And I think that's all the signal work I need, actually. We could maybe put one here as well, just for the visual sake of it. And it kind of makes me want to move the other one back a little bit as well. All right, deep breaths. Deep breaths are needed because this is a lot of progress being made very quickly here. We're going to put some more depots in on either end there. I like the symmetry. And I like that we have trees in the middle of our track. We'll add some more of those, I think. And then the only concern then is that that train that just left, our proper Ironstone train, doesn't have a depot that it can use. But I think I could put one here. Yes. So one more depot, and that resolves that issue. So now it can service itself at that depot if it needs to. All right, 10 minutes in, and we already got our first connection. Well, no, we don't, because I forgot to finish the rail line over on this side. Now, so many people have been complaining that I'm not using hotkeys, but I'm going to show you something real quick. Quick intermission here. Game options. You see a key bindings menu here? Because I don't. You're telling me I got to open up the wiki to view all my key bindings? That's crazy. I'll tell you how we'll learn the key bindings. Good old trial and error is how we'll learn our key bindings. That's partly me being facetious, and that's partly me being extremely genuine. All right. Anyway, enough complaining. This will be our entry into Nunningpool Woods, which needs to be renamed to Nunningpool Harbor. And I think down here we'll have a big old intersection as well. It's redundant, really, at this point, but this means that we can stage more vehicles down the track, so we could store some of them up here, if you know what I mean. Let's get some more signals in. So this is going to be the first one-way. No, that's going to be over there, actually. This is going to be the exit. And in fact, I'll put a signal there to mark the exit. That'll just be a simple block signal. So a tough word to say, surprisingly. Now, some depots for over here. I guess we'll do over here and over here. Now that means the middle track can't reach a depot. Oh, it can. It can, because we could just have this be a big old diamond. I actually kind of like that. I think that looks nice. That looks cool, in my extremely humble opinion. I'm going to do the station decorating later on, but what I will do is rename this to Seraphine Port. Lovely. All right, and that should be everything we need for our little shuttle to start service. So I'm going to actually do that and get it to start service here. I was keen on using this switcher. It's very slow, only 45. It doesn't have very much power, but it doesn't need to go very far, and it has pretty good reliability, and it's a pretty new locomotive. So we're going to go for the switcher, and this is going to be for engineering supplies, which I honestly don't think are very heavy, but I'm really just purely guessing that. And we'll do the flat cars, maybe? 65 mile per hour full speed's not very relevant. In fact, we could go down to 40. It's 70 instead of 114, so it's like $40 per period cheaper. Yeah, we'll go for the flat car. And how much total cargo do we want? Probably, say like 100. Let's do 150 crates. We'll sell one of those. Okay, your orders are going to be to fill up at Seraphine Bay, and then to simply go down the road to Ironstone, and that should start making us money. That was the Baldwin cab that we just unlocked there, by the way. We got the early access to that locomotive. We also had the Mikado there, didn't we? If I go back into engines, yes, we have the 282 Mikado, which if you watch my Derail Valley series, I just restored one of those fellas. So this looks like it's working. He's slowly filling up. We'll see if that accelerates once this should have a pretty good station rating, I think, because it will be getting service very frequently. Let's make sure this train works as well, getting out of here. Yes. Good, good, good. I guess that train technically could have serviced itself in this depot as well, but that one's just a little bit more direct. So I'll allow it. Okay. Now, what's next? We could hook up the quarry next. I think we'll hook up the quarry next. So I have a little bit of a plan for the quarry. This is a very low usage track here. Obviously, it's only one line, and we only have one train on it, and the train is pretty small and pretty quick. So I don't think we need to go crazy and double track this whole thing. What we definitely do need is a second platform here, though. That's unfortunately a non-negotiable, because as you can see, that train just sits there for a while. And so we need a way for both of them to be present here at the same time, even though one of them is just going to be dropping stuff off. And I'm going to make this second platform here. And it's going to be a little offset. I'm trying to work with the terrain a little bit instead of always demolishing it when I need space. And to the end of my previous statement, I'm going to maintain this bridge as being a single lane bridge. And then we'll expand out back to double track here. And then here we'll merge back into one lane. Now this comes the really complicated part where I need to figure out how to merge this line. And I'm thinking we could like come out and then have a bridge here. You know what I mean? And then turn and then have another bridge here. That's 2 bridges, which is a lot of bridges, mind you. And we need another bridge to get over the passenger lines here. And let me just see what this train does to refresh my memory of how this line works. Yeah, so he does this weird sort of like outside loop, this sort of reverse loop, this clockwise loop. So I think I could just plug in like here actually. That feels a little tight. So let's maybe do it here, I guess would be the next best spot. And then that could just plug in, I assume, like this. There you go. There you go. And maybe this, you know, you could argue we can use this track. Should we use that track? It's the depot track, so I'm a little hesitant to. But at the very least, it should be connected, I think. So let's get the signals in before I forget. We actually don't need a signal there. We need one. We'll just use that one signal here. Where we really need one is here. Okay. And actually, you know, I'm kind of thinking, why don't we do it like this? Why is that allowed? Isn't there a signal right there? Anyway, all this means is that I can get rid of all this. Does that look... I think that's fine. We have a pretty high-speed X junction here, but I could actually avoid that by doing something like that. Does that look weird, or does that look unnatural? Would that be better? I'm gonna roll with this for now. Let me know if I'm making an abomination here, please. I think I'm definitely making an abomination. I think this junction is an abomination, but the idea is that it then just hooks in here and goes down. And we could double track this whole thing, which should we? Should we do dual tunnels for an in and an out? Well, that would kind of make me want to move things back. Now we'll keep... Whoa, what'd you do that for? Why didn't you just... oh gosh, and what did you... Oh gosh, we have traffic. Wait, aren't you? You're my engineer. Where? How? What? How did you get there? I need to examine something here. Oh, did you go to the wrong... Well, no, it shouldn't be possible for you to reach this platform. Maybe I need a waypoint building here. And I don't actually know where to put the waypoint building. Oh yeah, our passenger line is not doing very hot in the money department there. At least it's moving now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where you're off to. Actually, you could turn around now because that's bi-directional track. So we'll have to, you know what? We'll just keep an eye on you in the side window here while I keep working on this junction here. Let's get the... Maybe I messed up my signals or something. We'll have to see. So for the train to merge in, I'm thinking I don't like any of this. I know I do this often, but I want these to be parallel. So this was here, I think. Yeah, let's do that. No, we'll go one more back. We'll go one more back, like that. Okay, I could buy this part. And we put a one-way, yes, a one-way signal there. You're heading to Nunningpool, finally. And then coming off the other direction now is where we have this. This is going to be a bridge. Like so. We'll do steel truss again. And that lines up perfectly. Nice. Okay, so there's that. I mean, that's connected. That will work for our use case. All we need is to do the signals, which I want to do, but I'm also watching this train up here to make sure it goes the right way. Should stop right here, actually. Yeah, he's going to stop. So we'll have to watch him on the return. No, where are you going? Okay. Okay, good. You're going the right way. We need a signal here. That can be a two-wayer. And then we obviously need one here before we merge tracks. And then we need one here before we merge tracks. That should be all the signals I think this side needs. There is, of course, no depot access over there. So we'll look into doing the depots in a second. I want to make sure everything works here first, since we did a lot of refactoring. I'm going to add the signal over there for the sole reason that I can see it behind that water tower. And where you going to turn around? Yes. Where is that pesky port train? Where did it go off to? Where are you going? Why? Why are you doing this? Is it inaccessible? Can you not reach the port? Is that the problem? Because the port looks pretty accessible to me. Oh, but not technically from where you were from. Okay. I see. It's going to do a U-turn. Now, actually, where are you going? Oh my lord. All right, well, we're going to make this a convenient little U-turn track if any trains do something crazy like what this train is doing right now. And that's going to be a one-way. Please take the U-turn track now. Oh my god. Where is it going? Oh god, it's rogue. It's rogue. All right, well, we need interconnectivity. So what I'll do is just do that and that. And that just solves issues potentially. I'm going to try to delete those two pieces I just placed once our port train has decided to stop being cuckoo. I'm going to take a sip of tea while I look at our fancy new junction here, because I'm getting parched. All right, that was some good tea. I think we're ready to expand to Granningville. This train is demonstrating right now that that throughway exists at least. And let me, just one more time, let me make sure you're going to Seraphine Port, which means you should take the bypass rail here, assuming it's all set up right, which means I shouldn't need those little nubs that I just built. He should be able to get there from the direction he is traveling now. Oh, you're waiting, which is interesting, because you're missing a signal right there. And of course, I placed that at the exact moment that it was about to cross it, so we had to wait. All right, well, I'm gonna keep an eye on you, my little spy window. We'll pin this open. And we're gonna build another train in the meantime. This is going to not use the Mikado because it's stupid expensive. We're gonna use another consolidation 2, and this is gonna have engineering supplies on it. And we're gonna do the more expensive and faster cars, because this one's actually going more long distance, which this guy was never meant to do. So buy and refit, buy and refit. What is your capacity right now? Total is 150. Tell you what, you're longer distance, so we'll get you all the way up to 180. And your job is going to go to Seraphine Port, full load, and then you're going to go to our cargo, or our concrete quarry. And we'll take a look to make sure you're not too long for the concrete quarry. Now, please do what I need you to do. You should get on this middle line. There you go, and that should take you comfortably to Seraphine Port. We're going to continue to keep an eye on that guy, though. Wow, you filled up already with 180 units. Damn. Nice. Okay, this is interesting. So now you're waiting. And you're waiting because I'm missing a signal at the end of the station, I think. I think we need one there. And I think that will, yeah, that should work. That should work. What we could use also is a block signal before the bridge, maybe. I don't know if that would have made any difference in that situation. We could put a block signal here as well so that you can continue on. Please don't turn around right now. Yes, okay, good. Good. All right, I'm going to fast forward a little bit here because I want to see what happens with this guy. Oh, he's going to take a little bit of time to fill up. So let's just watch our other engineering supplies train. Should take this exit now. In fact, both trains are here, so this is a good experiment. Yeah, he's going to have to slow down a lot on this bend because it's a one-tiler, but it's fine. This is a messy area anyway. Although, yeah, no, there's going to be a one-tile situation there regardless. So now you should get a green light. There you go. And that'll bring you up here. Let's put a couple of blocks in here so that they can both be in there at the same time. Nice. Nice. And I think I want a block here as well so that we can clear this junction earlier, which would release this one. And are you too long? Oh, I did not want you to go in there. I wanted you to... I guess it doesn't really matter, actually. Should I just leave the flexibility? They can go in whichever one they want. Yeah, I guess I can. And okay, this guy's leaving the port, so I can keep an eye on what went wrong here now. I mean, this all looks right. Of course he breaks down immediately. This all looks right, though. Tell you what, because you just broke down, we'll do the recommendation I had a while ago, which was before you pull into Seraphine port... no, I won't do the maintain if needed. I was going to, but then it's going to favor one of these tracks over the other, and I don't want to suggest it do anything. And you didn't do what you meant to do. So you got to turn around now. I see what the issue is. We got to get rid of this so that he can go down. This is a one-way. That's what the problem is. That needs to be a two-way. And in fact, he should go in there now. Yes. Yes, there we go. And now he clears that, so you should... Oh, well, you're waiting to load. All right, that should all be fixed up now. Sorry for that little hiccup. Where were we? We got to connect up to Tardworth Pybro Hub. So my plan here, because there's a lot happening. You know, we're going to have to pull a train into here. We're going to have to also get the bridge for the cars to go. Oh, we might need two bridges, in fact, for cars. What I'll do first is I'll set up where the station will be. So this is going to go like this. We'll have another through track there, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. I guess we'll have a terminal track here. What we need is this to have the capability to turn around, because we're going to use a platform on this end as well. These will be long terminus yards here. Like so. And then, this will continue out. We'll have something like this. And we'll have something like that. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. I think that's right. And then these are going to plug right in. These are going to plug right in like that. Get the idea. That's going to go through. Okay, so now I just got to do the road work. I'm thinking we move this bridge down here. In fact, I can make it a slightly larger bridge. We got to get rid of that little piece of decoration there. And I want to raise up the terrain so that we can maintain our fancy little elevated yard here. There we go. It didn't fully raise up the terrain, but I think it did enough that it won't be... Yes, we're able to build the road. Now we get a bridge in like this. This is going to be steel truss because we love our steel trusses now. Or I could go over it like that and do steel truss. Yeah, I like that more. Bridges aren't very expensive in this game, so it's not the worst thing in the world to do multiple bridges. There we go. And that means we could destroy this bridge now. I say destroy. What I mean is respectfully ask it to cease existing. Get rid of the depot. Does this look right? Yes. Yes, it does. So we need a... Ooh, maybe... our trucks are going to get lost now because I just did that. That's okay. I am thinking... I guess we could do another bridge. I don't really want another bridge here because I think it will make things look really messy. And not in the... not in the Lionel messy way. All right, here's what I'm going to do. So level crossings, if I remember correctly, can only be placed on straight bits of track. So we're going to have a straight bit of track right there that will very quickly go back and turn in like so. Okay. Oh god, this is messy. This is messy. I need to prioritize getting our trucks back. There we go. That's all. That's all I wanted to do. There we go. Just like that. And yes, it's a level crossing, and yes, it's at a hub, so it's probably going to be a fairly busy level crossing. But I can live with it. And I think it looks kind of, I think it looks okay, I guess. It's a little, the track goes a little wonky here. Maybe I can, yeah, just make it a little less wonky by doing this. So the idea is not to have any of those one tile curves in here. There we go. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Why are all my trucks still lost? They can navigate, right? I think they're just sorting it out. Maybe if I hide this, it'll be easier to see. Yeah, I think they're fine. That is looking okay, actually. Dare I say it really doesn't look that bad. I think I want to just handle this flat crossing here now is the only thing that I don't like. And I can resolve that with a tunnel. Right? Right? Where do I put the tunnel, though? Oh, I'm wondering if because I can't obviously do the tunnel on the diagonal, as sick as that would be. So I need like a tunnel here. Ooh, and then I can continue that track like that. Okay, that's going to require some more work. Okay, yeah, but I like it. It's going to require us to rethink our entire lives. No, it's going to require us... Actually, I'm going to kind of undo a lot of this right now. Let's have you... Are you able? No. So that kind of needs to be like that because of the bridge that I've already made. But what that means is that we can drop some terrain over here. Not over there, actually. Please raise that back up. I apologize if you hear sirens blaring. That is the lovely thing of living right next to New York City, is sometimes sirens do be blaring. I gotta demolish that piece of track as well, and then we can raise up this middle one. That should allow me to build a tunnel. Ooh, that tunnel looks cool, too. Is it because I built a road tunnel? Yeah, I think it is. That's why it looked cool. Rail tunnel, please. Oh, and I don't think that's enough space because I think I need, yeah. I need 2 tiles in order to get under this. So we're going to maybe get rid of this whole bridge and rethink this whole layout one more time. Not allowed when paused. Yeah, well, let's get rid of all you. And let's get rid of a lot more as well here. You know, our trucks aren't going to like this. But this is the cost of progress. Lots of explosions here. I know we just had a minor incident involving explosives. In fact, I want to get rid of this bridge as well, if I may. Oh, it's going to be hard to get rid of the bridge because there's so much traffic using it. Okay, we'll work with the bridge. We'll try to work with the bridge. So my tunnel. How do I want to do my tunnel? My tunnel is going to... Sorry, I'm trying to like think and commentate at the same time. It's really hard, actually. We need to get rid of some of this rail. I think if we say this is the line in, where can I build my tunnel? We'll do down, 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 and then we'll raise this one back up. I want a little bit of decreased or lower terrain leading into the tunnel so that it looks a little less strange, maybe. And we can build it like that. Okay, and then we just need the part coming out. Oh, you know what I could do? I could, because this is all going to be triple tracked anyway, I could just do this. Oh yeah, this is much nicer. I can even shrink the size of that bridge now, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that fancier? Well, our trucks are not enjoying the situation. Let me pause the game when I think about how I want to do this. Well, I'm happy with the rail. I think the rail looks really nice. The trucks still need a bit of straight track that they can do a level crossing over. I think we're going to flip-flop it a little bit. And we're going to put the crossing here, maybe. So if we did that, this is going to shrink the size of our terminal, and I got to get rid of this depot. But I'm fine with shrinking the size of the terminal because we have unlimited space on the other side, I believe. Okay, so we do the... Oh, and it doesn't even shrink it that much. I know this looks very sloppy right now. We will actually shrink it because we want to maintain a little bit of speed coming in here like this. There we go. And actually, in fact, what I could even have it come in like this. I think I keep trying to pause because this is not, unfortunately, this is not Transport Fever 2 where you can construct when paused. Our roads are truck traffic is the word I was looking for. It's going to take a bit of a beating here. But that's a risk I'm willing to take. I'll tell you what, let's fix it now. Let's just fix it now. There you go. Roads are back. Working again. And I could have done that a while ago because it's not going to actually interfere with my ability to work on this track here. I realize I don't think I actually want to come in like that. How about that? Does that look right? You know, we could push it back even further and then keep that depot. How many times am I going to demolish and rebuild the same track layout over here? Place your bets. Okay, are we okay with this? Does that look reasonable? It's a weird little kink, but, you know, don't knock anybody's kinks is all I have to say about that. It's necessary to get the level crossing in there, I think. And otherwise, we have like a triple stack interchange here, which is pretty neat. We got rail and truck and road and rail all meeting over there. Well, let's get the station in before I forget and then see if... It's been 40 minutes already. See if I can, you know, reclaim some of the disaster that this episode has become. Of course, there's a train in here now for some reason. Just going the wrong way there, buddy. Must remove rail track first. Is that so? There we go. And I wanted to... My original plan was to stagger this a little bit. Yeah, like this. Okay, that's the station. So we added a platform on the opposite side. And I would like to make this a one-way rail signal. There we go. I'm going to also now move... Wow, that's a ton of coal waiting over here. We should look into perhaps doing something about that. I'm going to move that over there so it's less on top of the signal. And then we just need some terminal pieces, unless we do a massive Ro-Ro over here. That could be fun. If we like... Yeah, I think I actually do want to do this. Because I'm going to have all decoration over here and stuff too. So we come out, give one tile just for funsies. We come out like this. Ooh. And then I can get rid of all this. Ooh, that's nice. That's very hubby too, if I must say so. Let's put a entry signal there. We'll put a remerging onto the main line. That was a digital sign there. That definitely shouldn't exist in this era. These are going to be one-ways, in fact. Shouldn't say digital, but LED one there. I think that's all the signaling I need, actually. We could have exits here, since that will allow them to... Well, actually, I don't think this is actually strictly necessary. What I do want, though, is a block over here, I think. And then another one over here, because this is a really long exit track. And that should allow multiple trains to exit simultaneously, at least. We'll put another block there. And we'll put another block here for pulling in. Let lots of trains queue up for their little entry. And everything should be connected here fine, because this is going to be all triple track anyway, eventually, long term. We'll just continue the triple track all the way down from here. All right, I think that's Tardworth Hub connected to the main line. That required a lot of brain power, and I haven't really been paying attention to how these guys are doing. But if we look, $42,000. Profit this period is $80,000. They're doing pretty well, I'd say. We're gonna clone that train. We will not. What's lost? Wait, what did that just say? Coal 3 is lost. I broke my signals, didn't I? Where are you, Coal 3? You are at the coal mine. You're up here. Ah, I see what my problem is. You can't get in. Yes, that is the problem. I don't know why I said I see what my problem is. I obviously couldn't at that point. That should be good though, because then you'll pull in here. Yes. Let me get a signal at the end of the station, because it feels like there should be one right here. I think that allows this to open up if there's a train in the station. I think, at least. And he should be unstuck, because now he can cross into here. And then he'll do a loop-de-loop and come on out. That does mean he kind of crosses over himself. I guess this should be the other way, shouldn't it? Sorry, I'm a little slow today. We should have a one-way bad boy there. Okay, now that's right. That says do not enter on my side. And that means we can remove you and you. And you. Because that's just a clean entry, yeah. But maybe I'll keep it. And what I'll do is I'll make this, sorry, I'm really chugging away here. This is gonna be a two-way one there. So that he can come in on either of these platforms is the idea. And then he'll be able to pull out, so to speak, on either of those if I do that little addition there. I'm sure we need some optimization there, but look at that. We're making 300K. Not bad. Let's get the last train up and running. Did I build it? I did build it, and I forgot to set the order. So, wait. What? That's a consolidation too? Oh, it cloned the orders. It just didn't do the shared orders. Okay, I was gonna say, because I didn't want to clone the orders. So you'll full load at Seraphine. Sorry for the brain farts that I'm suffering from in this episode. We'll have you head up there. That 45 minutes in, my friends, is the port and engineering supplies fully connected. And why don't you turn around and actually go the correct way to Seraphine Port? Not sure why it was doing that. I think it was heading off to the quarry at first before I changed the orders. I'm gonna take a little sip of toast? No, I'm gonna take a sip of tea before I lose my breath here. All right, the next thing I'd like to do is get some more buses on our passenger lines, because as you can see here, our passenger train is bleeding the company of cash. Quite the opposite from the $80,000 per period that we're making from the engineering supplies we just set up. In fact, why don't I do a little bit of organizing here? We'll have the Seraphine port group, and in the Seraphine port group, we'll put our 3 new trains. And I guess I'll do eng supplies in here as well, because eventually we'll have more input and output coming out of the port, I assume. Okay, cool. So let's fix up the bus situation. So I already adjusted the bus scheduling here at Granningville so that it is And they're making money also, to be fair, so that it's doing the transfer and leave empty properly. What I'd like to do is just get more buses feeding our other stations. So here at Puddingstone Bay, our coverage isn't the best. It's probably about half the town, so it could be worse. There's a weird little piece of track there that shouldn't be there. It's also a weird kind of like pure black tile there that doesn't quite seem right. It's May 1914 also. I'm going to pause the game. I don't know if you know your history, but in about 30 days, a very significant event is about to happen in Europe. Unfortunately, I forget where. Hang on a second. This is a little unprofessional. Let me just... Assassination of Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungary throne. Where did this happen? Were assassinated on the 28th of June, 1914, 31 days from now, in the capital of Bosnia and, I'm so sorry, Herzegovina. I don't know if that was right. I probably put a little bit of an Italian twang on there. Anyway, back to this game. I almost said Derail Valley, but no, this is not Derail Valley. This is OpenTTD, Transnational Freshwater. Thank you for tuning in, as always. We're going to get some bus stations here. We're going to try to cover the outskirts of the map here. So we'll do one there, and we'll do one over here, I think. That should give us pretty good coverage. Are we getting the middle of town? We're not. So we need maybe one more just in the middle of town here. Hide those buildings for me. Not allowed when paused. Well, what if I unpause? There we go. So I'm demolishing some things here because if I'm going to put one in the middle, then I'd like to spread this one out a little bit more in the anticipation of some more town growth. And we'll have all of our roads hooked up. That looks okay to me. Let's get a depot in. Depot can go right there, actually. Fits quite nicely. We're going to get some TFB buses. Those are the ones we have on the other line. I actually only wanted one of those for now. You're going to go to Central, West, Woods, and then unload at, not the depot, but at Puddingstone Bay, where you will transfer your materials. We'll get 2 buses on here, I think. I don't think we're really going to need 2 buses, but we're going to use 2 buses. And what I'll do is at the end, after unloading, why don't you go into the road depot and unbunch. So thank you to the commenters that had mentioned the unbunch feature. I'm going to take advantage of that, mostly just for the buses for now, I think. And to that end, let's set that up over here as well. We'll get a bus depot. Really nice spot for it right there, actually, in town. And if I could find my buses, there's one. So once you empty, you just go into that depot and unbunch. Perfect. Now, Fluntwood. What's the deal with Fluntwood? Coverage is kind of mediocre. We just reach up to that main street there. So let's add, you guessed it, we're going to put a vehicle depot in. We're going to put a bunch of bus stops. One there, perhaps. And then I'm thinking we demolish this road and put one in there. Hopefully the Fluntwood administrative offices did not mind that too much. I know they can be finicky sometimes. Yep, and they're done with me. Well, we'll get the buses on. We're going to do 2 here, I think, as well. This is going to be going to Fluntwood East, Fluntwood Central, finish up at Fluntwood Wood. You'll then transfer and go to the depot where, you guessed it, unbunch and get going and clone while holding control, the almighty control key. All right, there's our buses. That should be feeding our train stations a little bit more. I never actually did the signaling on this double track because we only have one train operating on that double track. And until that train gives me a reason to get another one, I think I'm gonna leave it. I mean, it's not giving me a strong reason to double up the vehicle there. Well, it's July 1914, so Sir Archduke Franz has been shot in the head. I don't actually know where he was actually shot, but what I'll do for the rest of this episode, we have about 10 minutes left here probably, and I'll do my station decorating, which I like to keep for the end. So the harbor is going to, of course, be a pretty busy area. I'm thinking we'll do proper platforms back here. Unfortunately, these trains just pulled in, so I can't upgrade the tiles they're on. We'll use these general cargo lines. That should display the engineering supplies. And I think I'll just sort of place it everywhere. We'll of course have a variety of items here, so we'll also get some steel platforms in here. I don't know when we'll have steel. Well, what I'll do actually is take a look at what you produce. So engineering, it looks like it's all actually processed general goods. So we'll just keep the general goods cargo here. What's going on? Why are you waiting for a free path? Can I just turn you around? And you broke down. Maybe these guys are these depots here are a little bit close. Yeah, I think these depots are a little bit close, so I'm going to delete them. I know the work never ends. What I'll do as well is remove these signals. Look, Dad. Look, Mom. I meant to say I'm learning my hotkeys. I think. Why does that seem so much longer? Oh, because it is longer. It doesn't need to go that far. Yeah, only that far. So we're shifting. What we're doing is we're shifting things down just a little bit here. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to place the depot because it will unconfuse me. Okay, it looks like I did it right. It's just the asymmetry was kind of confusing my brain. And get rid of that one and get rid of that. Okay, and wait, something's wrong. What's incorrect here? Is it this? Doesn't need to be there, and this doesn't need to be there. Right? Well, we could keep it there. I don't think there's a harm in keeping it there. That just means you can get... Well, I guess it just doesn't need to be on the other side. Hang on a second. Why is this not working out in my brain anymore? I'm just gonna leave it. We're gonna revisit it. I need to rest the noggin before I keep trying to mess with things. So I'm going to revisit this in between episodes, and when my brain is a little bit more capable, it's getting a little late over here. I apologize for all the sloppiness. I really am doing my best. Let's get back to this station decorating. It's hard, man. It's a hard game to play. Let's put a water tower there. We'll put a water tower here as well. Gonna be like a little bit random here. Maybe we get some cranes on rails, or the classic cranes, because these look like they're more classic, I'd say. We'll use we'll use these because they have the proper platform piece there. So if I just put a bunch of that in the middle. Oh, does it actually animate? Unsupported track length. I know I'm kind of going a little crazy here, but I just want to see what all of it looks like before placing it. So overhead crane, I think I like how that one looks. Actually, no, I don't. I like how this one looks. So we'll do a couple of those. We'll do 3 of those. I just got a bunch of cranes on the back there too. We'll get rid of some of those cranes. We'll put in the processed good platforms there again. All of them there, I think. In fact, I want a little yard space here just to store goods. And then these can be, we could put proper terminal tracks on the back here. Just something I should have. There they are. There's our proper terminal tracks. Maybe hide the trees. Oh, hides the stations too. Oh, you know what I could do? I could do Shift 2. There we go. That will hide the trees for me. All right, now, any other track decoration? Yeah, I think so. I think we have some chutes we can add, but those don't. Oh, you know what I'd do? Maybe like a conveyor belt there. And where's my water tanks? Here's my water tanks. I want a water tank there. And not quite there, though. Not there either, just because it's messing with the terrain a little bit in a way I don't like. And you know what I found that I like more than the water tanks? In fact, in facilities, yes, we have these storage tanks, which I think I actually like more. So if I put one there, there you go. See, you could actually make them look like they're connected there, which is pretty cool. I want some of these sawtooth buildings because it looks like a nice big factory. And then next to the factory, you know what we'd like? Oh, and they are animating. That's so cool. Next to the factory, you know what we'd like is some warehouses. Maybe a main office back here as well. I think it's a two-piecer, right? The main office. If I go like this. Hang on. There it is. Oh, that's our main office. That's so nice. What else can we get in here? Maybe some sheds. I'd like some sheds. Put shed there. Yeah, okay. Put one shed there. And then that's looking pretty close, I think, to being done. How are we looking? 600,000. And I assume that is, yeah, that's our passenger train. That's sucking money away. But we doubled our cash in the last 6 months. I guess something about World War I is doing good for us. We're already at almost $2 million back in the bank. Let's wrap up our decorating. So I think the docks over there we can call good at this point. As for the quarry here, I think we're just going to add some raw material storage here and there. Call that one good, because this is a little bit messy. Maybe in between episodes I'll pretty that one up a little bit. But we have our whole yard over here that we still need to decorate. Our hub, I should say. And I think for the hub, I would like, obviously, some of these chutes. I think I'll leave this one on the flat ground instead of elevating it like we have the previous stations. There we go. We got our chutes. I keep forgetting what they're called. We got our chutes in there. Let me replace that one with flat ground. I think for here, we can get away with some cranes, and we'll use the... Oh, where was... Is it fixtures? Yes. We'll use these cranes, maybe. These classic ones. What's the difference? North versus south. Okay, well, we want south, I guess. I think there would be... Oh, look at that. That's so goddamn cool. All right. We'll put 2 of those in. We'll put one over here, maybe. Oh my God, this is so cool. And we'll put another crane in. We need storage here now. We need storage of raw materials, like all of our coal that we have just laying around. Ugh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You know what it needs, though? Is a factory, a nice sawtooth roofed factory. Where can we squeeze in? Maybe we take some of this coal space. Yes. That is accurate. I'm going to replace those 2 with that as well. Now, this one is going to have some raw materials on the track, I think, like over here and over here. And then the rest, I would like to put some roads in here, perhaps. So that's in fixtures. We can get the railroad crossing piece like that. Oh, that's beautiful. It's beautiful. It doesn't really terminate in a really nice way because we have this crossover here, but maybe I rework that, move it further back. For now, I can certainly live with it. If we go back into our structures, I think we need some bridges. Yes, some bridges over the track would do us good. So maybe here and here. And then a building piece there. Just kidding. That one has a piece I don't want on it. We could do the storage facility there, though. Just kidding. Don't like the storage facility. We could do the modern warehouse. Just kidding. Don't like the garage door on that. And I'm at 1 hour now, so I got to kind of wrap this boy up a little bit. But we'll do something like that. Oh, look at that. It goes through. I didn't even know you could do that. Put 2 of those there. Oh, I'm having way too much fun with this right now. I didn't know you could place these buildings. Oh, well, that one, I guess you can't. Wait a minute. How did I do that? Didn't the train just drive through this? Okay, so we're going to undo that, I think, because I may have been mistaken. But what we can do is put another one of these bridge pieces in here. Actually, is there one of those on flat ground? Yes. Like that and like that. We'll do the same over here and over here. Okay, I'm going to call that good for the harbor, or for the hub. Not the harbor, the hub. That looks pretty good. I got to place depots around. I could at least put one in here, of course. Good spot for one. And I'll do the rest off screen. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Before I go, I'll go over the plans for next episode. So December 1914, next year will be 1915. I'm not the best at history, but I'm pretty sure All Quiet on the Western Front takes place right around this time. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments regarding that. We got a lot done this episode, and the plan for next episode, we'll have 3 options. The first one is going to be to resume our efforts with passenger rail service. So we still have plans to connect passenger service up to Tardworth, and we might even get, well, I was going to say up to Slarfing Hill, but I don't think that really makes sense. We might go up to Benningwell with our passenger service because we have this connection in place now. Obviously, we don't want our passenger trains going through this snafu, but we might, you know, detour off over here. We have a nice big gap for it. So option 1 is going to be the increased passenger service. Option 2 is going to be continuing down the industrial chain. We, of course, are in a period of increased industrial demand, particularly with iron. And if we take a look at our boat over here, it's not really making much money. If we took a look at our train over here, we haven't been on this side of our land in a while. This train's also actually making decent money, 22,000, but I don't think it makes that every period. I think it waits here for over a period. We have some potash mines there that could use eng supplies. So if we were to go further down the industrial chain, I think what we do is focus on getting more iron blast furnace, which is already going to start happening because we're supplying engineering supplies down to our mines. But we'd really focus on the throughput of this guy so that our boat spends less time waiting and so that we can make better use of our docks over here. We maybe look into connecting up the potash mine. We might look into connecting up an elastomer plant as well, which is down the coal line, if I remember correctly. I don't actually know where that elastomer plant went, but it's somewhere in the general vicinity of Fluntwood, I think. So that would be option 2, will be the industry. Option 3 is going to be sort of like viewer write-in. You guys give your suggestions in the comments every episode, and I'll just focus on fulfilling those suggestions. And part of that will also be modernization of the rail. So like we did a few episodes ago, we go through our locomotives, we take a look at what can be retired into the museum, what can be shifted onto other lines, and what locomotives should be upgraded. Just spending a lot more time examining our current economic situation than we really have been. It could definitely use a little bit more love, I think. But that's going to be it for now. If you made it this far, I'm going to say it one more time. I won't say it at all next episode, but please consider subscribing. I'm working my way to 1,000, and every single one of those counts. It also lets you see the polls that I put on the channel page. Those will show up on your home feed, but no pressure. If you're just a casual lurker, that's cool too. And with that, I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening if you're watching this at night. Otherwise, I hope it's a nice day. Maybe you fell asleep by now, maybe you didn't. Why don't you leave a comment? Let me know what the next thing you're going to watch is, because we're probably pretty alike and I might enjoy it too. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to sip my tea. I'm going to go. Have a good night. Goodbye.